So this week we got Attack on Titan chapter 126. It was called Pride. It was a longer chapter, but it was broken down into a few different scenes, I would say. So the first scene, you zoom in on Hanj killing some of the MPs that are following her and Levi. She had saved Levi after his encounter with Zeke. And a quick detail with that I saw was in the panel that you see her aiming down a sniper scope. You can see that she is not used to killing people yet. Like, she's actually shedding a tear. So I just thought that was another like insight to how big the author is and like the psychological aspects of what this war is doing to the soldiers. But anyway, so you see that, it's a little bit before where we're at currently in the timeline of Attack on Titan. There's a panel where after Levi wakes up and she kind of talks to him a little bit, or I'm sorry, before Levi wakes up, you see, I think, the tree of life behind her, and I'm pretty sure that was where Eren was talking to all the children of Ymir. I think that was what that was insinuating there, like that kind of connection in time. But after that, Levi wakes up, and you see that he's pretty badly injured. Hanj is like stitching his face up, and on his right hand, he is missing 2 fingers. I think it was his middle and his pointer finger, which I would imagine is huge, because if I'm thinking the way that they have to grab their swords and all their equipment, like, you need those 2 fingers. So really that takes away his right hand. So without losing it, he's pretty much lost his hand there.
Yeah, it would look like this.
Yeah. So with that, after that scene, it goes to Connie. He's with Falco. They're trying to figure out, or Connie's trying to figure out how to get his mom to eat Falco. It's pretty dark. Falco is trusting him, and he's sitting there. Connie's, kind of having a change of heart because he's realizing that this kid is a nice guy, nice kid, and he's trusting Connie because Connie's a soldier. And I thought there was another, just a little minor detail of like how hard Sasha's death hit Connie, because he's sitting there, against the tree and just kind of thinking like, what would Sasha think of him? So, you zoom forward. They're going back into Connie's hometown, and Connie's kind of deceiving Falco. And right before they get up on the ladder, he tells him he wants to brush the Titan's teeth, and Falco doesn't know it's his mother. Gabby and Armin, start yelling for Falco. And so with that, after they come in, Armin, I thought this was a pretty interesting way to save Falco. Armin comes in, and instead of like going after him, he jumps into he's going to let Connie's mom eat him. And Connie has to make a split choice real quick of like, am I going to let that happen, or am I going to save Armin? So I had a question with that scene. My question is right before Armin makes that decision, you kind of see Erwin, and I thought that was like it showing that Armin really does regret being the one that's chosen, and he's kind of willing to throw his life away at any moment. I wanted to know how you guys felt about that. So like, Connor, how'd you feel about that scene there?
Honestly, like, I think it really is just like, it's a fleshing out of what we've already kind of been seeing with Armin. He's the doubt in like himself and the choice made ever since literally he woke up, ever since he found out. He has basically been dwelling on, should I have been? Am I the right choice? I don't think I am. Like I think it's really, he's getting this sense of everything that could go wrong is going wrong. And with Erwin, that wouldn't have been the case, or that would not be the case, because with Erwin, at the very least, everything was about keeping stability, trying to restore the balance of it. So,
right.
Yeah. I think it was kind of also, even though he was really doubting himself, it's really starting to progress this whole story of him being Erwin's successor. Even if what he did was out of self-doubt, it really goes to show that Armin is still one of the most moral characters left in the series. He was willing to just selflessly sacrifice himself like that. And when everyone else around him is losing their humanity, Connie, of all people, who's always been a good guy trying to do the right thing, was about to feed this kid to a Titan. And Armin, despite everything that's gone on around him, despite doubting himself, whether he's the right person to succeed Erwin, he just proved that of all the characters, he is still the moral one. And he's really now the hero we need to kind of lead everyone through and just save this whole mess and save humanity pretty much. He's the right one to lead it.
I definitely agree with you there. I mean, I would even go so far as to say he's one of the only he's one of the only characters with a moral compass left. I mean, there are, like, when you see Connie, the lengths he's going to, and Devin, you hit the nail on the head with the Sasha thing. I think he, just from like a human psychology standpoint, and I'm sure, and like Attack on Titan is one of the best mangas I've ever read that really does a good job of showing psychology on a very real level. And he's trying to replace that female role model in his life. I think he looked up to Sasha, or in a way he looked at her as like a sister, and losing her and seeing the world just crumbling around him. For the longest time, Connie was right there with Armin as being like one of the only moral, lights in the darkness of that world. And I mean, that face when he turns around and he's like, "Help me brush your teeth," gave me chills, dude. I had chills. So like it's really setting Armin up to be like almost the ultimate good against Aaron's ultimate evil, because I think it's bananas that people think that Aaron might still be the good guy or like the good character. Like Aaron has.
Well, the only thing that I'll question with you there, Connor, is this whole manga, the way that the author's written this, is he's showing that everybody in their own head is a good person because they're sticking to their morals. So everybody that we've seen, even back to like the MPs that Hanj locked up in the prison that we actually get a flashback to in this chapter, they tortured Nick and they killed people because they were following orders to protect riots in the streets from the truth getting out about the Rice family being the true heirs. So they thought they were good in their head, even though they were doing bad things.
Well, that just plays into the darkness, though, because that's just even more shadow government control. Like that just shows the web of power that, just like throughout the society.
So
I do agree with you.
So cut and dry in this one, because even saying that Armin is the ultimate good, if you flash back to, Armin saving Jean, he still kills a person as well. And they have that scene afterwards where they're talking like, hey, you did this and because you chose this route, Jean's still alive. If your hands would have been clean and you would have been the ultimate moral person and not saved somebody, Jean might not have been there, or not killed somebody, Jean might not have been there,
Yeah, I mean, Aaron's, no one's disputing Aaron thinks he's doing the right thing, but we're just saying that he's clearly gone off the deep end. He's clearly in the wrong here.
I believe he's past the point of no return. I believe that
unless there's some sort of
committed to something.
It would have to be some sort of Itachi thing going on where tying into my theory of Gabby succeeding him as the Attack Titan.
I don't think it has to tie into your theory. I think, right. I mean, we're going to have a video coming out with our theory on this soon, and I definitely think we're going to talk about those aspects. But I do think there is somewhat of an Itachi element to this where Aaron knows that what he's doing now is a sacrifice for the greater good.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
It ties.
I would agree with you there.
Getting the coordinate.
So I don't know, because thing is, on a surface level, this is still consistent with Aaron's whole point of view from since the beginning of the series. Like, he's always been compassionate to his friends and ruthless to his enemies. So the moment he discovered that there's this whole group of people outside of my people that want our destruction, nothing like that. That's what they're trying to show us in the flashbacks, that this whole time we've been wondering what changed in Aaron, but really it makes it seem like nothing actually changed. This is always who he was, that he was a person who, if someone wanted to kill his friends, he would show them no mercy and just do whatever brutality it took to obliterate them.
But
just
what's Aaron's main goal throughout the entire series? What's Aaron's main goal throughout the entire series? It's to rid the world of Titans.
Right.
Well, so then, I kind of agree more with DJ. It's at first it was I want to rid the world of Titans because they were killing his friends and his family. But now that he's realized, remember whenever they first get to the ocean, and he says, now I realize my enemies are on the other side of that, on the other side of the water. So it's not so much I want to kill all the Titans. It's I want to protect the people closest to me. And that's what he's still doing to this day, even though it seems like he's betraying them. But in the end, he's just like, you wouldn't understand. Because, right, he's the Attack Titan. He has the ability to see his foresight, so he's able to see the future. So he's probably just like, you guys would not understand why I'm doing this because I can see into the future.
Right, and maybe he doesn't see past that, like a final moment, which would be the end of the Titans. That's where my theory that we'll get into will.
If he really wants to kill the Titans, why would he be leaving all of the Eldians alive? Like,
well, no. Here's the thing. Like, it's
because I'm sorry, Connor.
No, go for it.
The answer to that question would be to unite the world finally. Okay, because he feels that people haven't been free because they've been living under the fear of the Titans. Aaron's main thing overall, outside of like hating the Titans and wanting to rid them, is he hates people that aren't free. The people in the walls, the Ackerman bloodline, because they have to protect the Titans. I mean, everything that isn't from their own free will, Aaron doesn't like. So the fact that he is doing something like that, bringing all these Titans together, would be to get humanity to finally put aside their differences to unite and kill the Titans, including himself, would be my theory. Like, loose theory. There's a lot more details and hints at that end that I will go into when we talk about it more in depth. But I think that there is a reason that he is doing this outside of the fact. I mean, we've already seen now Reiner, Annie, and some of the Survey Corps, and Connie and Gabby, who Gabby killed Sasha, they're on a team now. They've united and put their differences aside. So Aaron, in the end, is uniting people by doing this.
So here's my take on it. Like, we see when Aaron initially like ambushes Marley at the world, announcement, he doesn't just pop out before Willie even has a chance to like get the speech out. Like, he waits until he hears him speak and like ask the world to unite against him. So he already sees the world, like Xander said. He is already in his mind basically looked at the world beyond the ocean of their island as the enemy, because that's what he just heard him have them commit to. And you got to remember, when he wanted to destroy all Titans, he had no knowledge of the history of Titans, the origins of Titans. He didn't know that they were even Eldians. He thought they were these mindless monsters that just wandered. So like, I personally, I think his interpretation, or like his view of them definitely shifted at a point when he realized these aren't just mindless, just Cyclops type creatures that only want to just devour and destroy. Like, these are people like tortured for generations. Sorry, took a lot to get that out. But I mean, I definitely think because of that like change in how he sees Titans, it's no longer gonna be destroy all Titans, because he would see that almost as destroying my people.
I don't think
I agree. I mean, I think we should move on to the next part of the chapter, though.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we'll go into this a little bit more. So, anyways, so after that, Connie realizes that he had a moment of weakness. He talks about wanting to be a soldier that his mom would be proud of, and that those actions, aren't the type of soldier that he would want to be seen as. So after that, he says he wants to go save people with Armin. So they make their way, back towards the rest of the gang. And it flips over to Mikasa and one of the Jaegerists, the one that was like, I'm blanking on her name, but it was the one that was really, idolized Mikasa and Eren. And she is pretty much on her deathbed. She has like some thunder spear in her gut, and that's, never good for anyone. So Mikasa is talking to her, and she is saying that she asked, what's going on with this today? She asked, what Eren wanted her to do with the scarf, and Eren said to throw it away. I think that also leads into some other stuff that we'll talk about later. But, Mikasa tells her to give it back and takes the scarf from her. So after that, you flip to the town celebrating the victory over Eren, over the world because of Eren, and the Jaegerists kind of are establishing a rule. So you see Jean, and he's like one of the people who are going to be part of the rule, but he doesn't look very happy. And so then that flips to Annie sitting there with her hood up on the bench, and Connie and Armin are back in the center of town, and they actually, see her and end up, she leaves from being with Hitch to go with Connie and Armin. So then we see that later, they're teaming up with everybody. But the big scene there at the end is the Jaegerists are about to execute Yelena and Anya Capon, or however you say his name, for basically betraying the Eldian Empire during all those events. And on Anya Capon, again, however you say his name, he starts bringing the speech up about how, this is senseless murder and indiscriminate violence. And Jean kind of hangs his head and misses the shots on purpose. So after that, Jean pushes Flock out of the way and gets swallowed by the cart titan along with Yelena and the other prisoner. And when they get back, you realize that Jean agreed the day before that he was going to start working with the Marleyan Empire, which basically he says that, but at this point you start to see that the empires, again, the lines are getting kind of gray in between. You see Reiner at the end, the chapter wraps up with Gabby, Falco, Reiner, Mikasa, Armin, Connie, and Annie all teamed up saying that they're going to go save the world. So you get this kind of like 104th reunion with the younger generation, and all that good stuff. But before a big question that I had in there, they had a cutscene before Armin leaves, that someone's watching them. So I wanted to ask one of you guys, DJ, you're big on like those little things in chapters. So yeah. Who did you think, do you have any inclination of who that would be?
Yeah, it's got to be Zeke. That's the big question right now is where is Zeke? Where is Eren? How are they going to fit into everything that's going on? That silhouette looked a lot like Zeke. So, and he's pretty much the only character by process of elimination that could be.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, for me, it's like I'm kind of curious that they teamed up with the Marleyan Empire. That seems like obviously that was who was there, who was available to be allied with. But it seems like to me the ideal alliance would be Zeke at this point, because at the end of the day, Zeke and the Marleyan Empire have assets they can use, but one of them still wants to destroy their entire group of people. The Marleyan Empire still wants to destroy all Eldians. Zeke, on the other hand, now, he doesn't want to kill anyone, and he knows the threat of Eren. So in an ideal situation, I feel like Zeke would be the person they should team up with, not the Marleyans.
That's fair. Absolutely.
Well, the thing is, but Zeke, so because he wants the end of all Eldians, so it's like a weird gray area with teaming up with Zeke, because if they do, then they have the potential to stop Eren, but if they stop Eren, they're killing off all of their kind. And so they, at the end, you're right, he says, let's go save the world. So that's obviously implying that they're going to go try to stop Eren, because he's arguably trying to destroy the world, everybody except the Eldians. So I'm interested to see where it's going. But yeah, I agree. It couldn't be anybody else besides Zeke. There's like Eren is probably, it could be him, but I feel like he's off somewhere else entirely, like leading the massive Titans, the Wall Titans. So, but at the same time, like, is Zeke gonna then step in? And are they gonna allow Zeke because Levi is with him, and Levi said, "I'm gonna kill Zeke no matter what." So, if Zeke pops in, is Levi then just gonna get nuts and try to kill him, or?
Yeah.
Levi will kill Zeke, I think. I don't think Zeke can get away from what he's done to Levi. I mean, at this point, Erwin was pretty much like a father figure to Levi, and with him killing it, that was the last straw,
With it being the end game of the series too, we know that Levi's character arc needs resolution, and I really don't see any other, I don't see a better way to complete his character arc than to have him kill Zeke. Maybe he dies in the process, maybe not.
But I don't know if he will kill Zeke. I mean, that's probably very likely, but I just think that at this point, Zeke has to find himself in alignment with everyone else who's already teamed up, because he's, after speaking to his father and getting that, the full picture of the story, I think Zeke is going to be fully on board with the anti-Aaron movement, like stop Aaron at all costs. And, Levi, I love Levi, but he's missed a lot. Someone really has to fill him in. That killing Zeke is probably not the best move right now.
Not the priority.
They really they need Zeke. He's the only one with the full picture. He's really the only one who can.
And he's the only one.
He's needed. He's necessary to stop Aaron. Yeah, you need Zeke to stop Aaron.
Well, there's Historia still, so.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying from the knowledge Zeke has,
Yeah, but the thing with Historia, we haven't seen much of her at all, and so she has to play a bigger role with the royal blood, so forth. So one thing is, so if Aaron were to eat Historia, would he then have royal blood, or could that be I mean, at this point, he's all hell bent on, I need to save the world and at all costs.
He would already have royal blood because his dad ate the princess. Yeah,
that was a dumb point.
That's the whole reason they need Zeke and Historia.
So my last question for you guys, and this could be something that we kind of take into the video about the theories of how it's going to end, but I really want to know, do you guys see a end to this story that doesn't end in a continuous conflict if the Titans are still around after this Aaron arc, I guess, if you want to call it that? So after the Aaron arc, do you guys see a resolution between the Marleyan Empire and the Eldian Empire if the Titans are still in play?
So I think the Titans are at least going to be dormant or extinct by the end of this. But
yeah, so so my kind of opinion on it is, I think that Aaron will in some ways kind of rejoin all of the Titans into one, then rebuild societies, and then when he dies, he will just get buried away and won't be eaten or anything like that. So he'll basically conjoin all the powers, because that's how her powers, the founding Emir, that's how her powers were split on, was because the kids ate her. So if he can somehow rejoin all of the Titans and then die off, rebuild society and then die off, and then the entire world comes together and put him in a tomb or whatever, so that he can't be eaten and decays away or whatever. So then the Titans will die out.
In theory, to do that, he would have to kill Armin. He would have to eat Armin, right?
Yeah, not just kill Armin. He would have to eat.
He would have to eat Armin.
He would also have to eat a child.
I think that's past.
Well, he's already killed multiple children at this point. But
okay.
I just want to go on record again that I think Gabby will inherit the Attack Titan, and if not Gabby, I think Aaron is definitely. I think someone is going to inherit his Titans.
I would like to go on record.
I'm pretty sure Gabby
Aaron is the last Titan. Aaron will be the one who.
And we have a Akatsuki robe bet on this.
Absolutely, I will wear an Akatsuki robe to any one of the podcast episodes that DJ deems necessary. If I am wrong with that,
and same for me. If I am wrong.
You heard it here first.
All right.
Well, Attack on Titan's gone very long. It was a big chapter, but we appreciate you guys for sticking around. If you did stick around with us this long, like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at _the_stoop. We appreciate you guys. Thanks and have a great day.